Hello, um, I welcome you once again. This is still Christ Without Borders. Um, what I'm going to do in this series is, what I'm going to do is speak about and talk about some of the things that is holding us back. And this time, the area I'm going to look at is from our culture, customs, and traditions. Our culture, customs, and traditions. I don't know how many series this one is going to be, but I'm just going to keep doing it, as I get the updates, as I get the messages. So this will be part one. I've already established the fact that the basic building unit of a society, of a community, is a family. And the thing is, if you've looked closely about some of the things we do culturally, our traditions, our customs, if you look at it closely, you realize that one of the first things that's going to come at you is it causes us, and it puts us in the way in which we are raised, with the traditions, with our culture, with our customs. Not all of them. It causes us to be raised in this kind of closed circuit or closed-minded way of thinking. Closed-minded way of thinking. A closed-minded way of thinking, And so if you come of age, you come of age, you are 19, 20, 21, 22, and you don't put in active effort to look at things all over again, to re-look at the world in a certain way, what is going to happen is that you are going to get stuck in that closed-mindedness, And when I come here, I keep talking to people, and I keep encouraging people to think openly. It's very important. Closed-minded way of thinking only restricts you. It only limits you. And it makes it difficult to do certain things. Even though they are right, because some of our customs, traditions, and the culture raises us in a certain way. If you don't put in active effort to try to look at things all over again, to re-evaluate things all over again, to review things all over again, you are going to get stuck in that kind of mindset. If you have looked closely in how we are raised, and as Africans, for that matter, as Ghanaians, one of the things you are going to realize is the way we are raised creates this kind of entitlement with people. People feel entitled, to certain things. People feel entitled. Even parents feel entitled. A lot of parents feel the life you are living, you are supposed to live your life to please me because I am your parent. That is not true. Entitlement. You see it in some of our relatives who go out there. That kind of mindset. Everybody is waiting. Everybody is expecting. Okay, so because you are out there, you are supposed to take care of me. You are supposed to do this for me, you are supposed to do that for me. Why? Because you have traveled outside. Why? Because you have gone outside. And they don't even know how life is even treating you over there. So able-bodied men and women who can actually focus on themselves, do something for themselves, to pick their own cross and then walk their journey, refuse to do that and fold their arms, because we are raised in a culture that causes people to be entitled. So people who could do something for themselves refuse to do it because I have somebody outside, I have an uncle, I have an auntie outside there who will be doing certain stuff, who is supposed to take care of me. Another thing, we can look at one of those things called that system that you find in a lot of the accounts, the Wafaho kind of mindset. And so people will not be able to do what they are supposed to do because you have been raised in a culture, with some traditions, with some customs that says it's a must, it's a force that your uncles are supposed to take care of you. And all of these things, people are carrying it in their head, and it's stopping people, and it's limiting people, and it's restricting people from becoming who they are really supposed to be. It's stopping people from going all out. And there are some of these things, there are some of the things in our customs, culture, our traditions that we have to review. Some of these things, when they were set in place, there's nothing like the internet. There's nothing like social media. Some of these things, when they were put in place, there was nothing like the internet. There was nothing like social media. But today, the internet is going to confront you. You are practically useless today without the internet. So some of these laws, some of these things that were set in place, we have to review them. If it's not going to be possible for us to review them, then individuals and people who are raised with in this culture, with these customs and traditions, have to upgrade themselves. You have to upgrade yourself. Another thing I can talk about is injustice. You see, a lot of us Africans are raised in a kind of, as I said before, culture, customs, traditions that only favors people, the elderly, but does not pay attention, it has no respect for the young. It doesn't. A lot of our culture, our traditions, our customs, it only favors the elderly. So I can bring a typical example about the family, which is the basic building block of a society, and whoever the person becomes, whatever training they are getting is what they got when they were a kid, the kind of family structure, family background in which they grew up in. Now, when there is an issue, something happens, and a young person was offended, and they are able to come out, be able to get the courage to call the family system. The family has a way of also dealing with or addressing with issues. When that young person is even able to gather the courage and come forward with whatever happened to them and bring that case before elders, I'm talking about the family setting, to deal with the issue. A lot of times, the case will be overruled, or the case will be ruled in favor of the elderly person. And all that does not help when we come to it. That is one of the problems when it comes to injustice. And if you look closely, there are a lot of people who know how their way around this, the family setting and the traditional setting especially. A lot of them, if you look closely, a lot of them become repeat offenders of the same thing because they know they can find their way around it. This is part one. Watch for part 2.